Now we're going to go over our level 2 low back exercises. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our 4-point stretch is what I call it. And once again, we have Catherine here assisting us. She is a yoga instructor, teaches next door at Willow Glen Yoga. So what she's starting to do is she's starting a hamstring glute stretch by bringing this knee up to the same shoulder. So she's starting with her left leg, bringing this knee up to her left shoulder. She's going to hold this pose for about a minute. Then from there, she's going to switch to position 2, where she's going to bring this knee and point it right towards her opposite shoulder. And then she'll hold this stretch for about a minute. As we rotate around in a counterclockwise position, it's going to change the way we're applying a stretch into that glute. So after position 2, she's going to bring it into position 3. And position 3 is basically that knee is going to be right above her elbow. So we've got a nice stretch going right there. She's going to pull with this hand down to adjust the stretch and keep it comfortable, but still keep that glute stretching. So now position 4, which will be our final stretch, she's just going to drop this foot on the outside of this leg, and then she's going to grab her knee with that hand, and she's going to rotate and try to bring this knee down to the floor. If you notice, she's using her arm to help keep that shoulder touching the floor. So what we're doing is we're bringing rotation into the spine, and at this point, not only are we stretching the glute, we're also stretching the rotator muscles that activate and control rotation in the spine itself. So after holding this for a minute, she's going to come up, and we're going to segue into a more advanced bridge from what we did in level 1. And this is called a one-legged bridge. So the fundamentals are still the same. She's going to use her hands here on her pelvis because she wants to make sure she's not going to roll the pelvis off the floor. If you notice, she came straight up in that pose. That's activating the low back muscles, because that's what we're focusing on, is getting an isometric workout in those low back muscles. So Catherine, lower yourself, and then what she's going to do is she's going to bring this leg up into a 90 degree position. If she wants, she can point her toe just for a little bit of comfort. Now all the workload's going to be on her right glute and hamstring. And what this is going to do is this is also going to work out the rotators. The rotators that we just stretched, we're now going to activate trying to keep this pelvis level here. So not only are we controlling pelvic tilt, we're also controlling pelvic rotation. What she doesn't want to do is let that pelvis drop. So she wants to keep it level in this position too. Now once again, try to do a few reps. The reps are going to be a little bit more difficult one-legged. Usually if we can do 20 to 30 one-leg or two-legged, as we drop into the one-legged pose, which is more advanced, we're going to be able to do about 15 to 20 before things really start getting shaky. So after she does her 15 reps on both sides, using both legs, one at a time, we're going to drop into a slightly more advanced crunch. And what she's going to do here, I call this one the super crunch. And what she's going to do is she's going to bring her legs once again here to a 90 at the hip, 90 at the knee position. And before she does her crunch, she's going to get into her start position. So the start-stop position is the same as we showed in level 1. Lower your hands just a tad bit to give your head just a little bit support. So she's going to support her head at the neck. She's going to try to keep her neck relaxed. We don't want to activate neck or shoulder in this, but we are going to roll up and get those shoulder blades off the floor. Now before she crunches on this one, she's going to take her belly button and she's going to pull it down as hard as she can towards her spine. And then after she activates her oblique ab muscles, now she's going to come up into a crunch, and we're going to do this as an isometric crunch. So she's going to try to hold it for a count of 10, a nice slow count of 10. So here we're activating all of the abs, the obliques and the upper ab, without having to put any rotation into our low back. And if we have a sore low back, that's going to be an important part of being able to exercise our abs completely without having to put any rotation that might hurt the back itself. And after she counts to 10, she'll relax. And as she comes down, she won't come down like she just did all the way to the floor. Remember, this is our start-stop position. So she's going to try to relax there, reset by pulling that belly button down towards her spine, and then isometric contract again into that crunch and hold that for a count of 10. Usually about 5 reps of these will be pretty good. So from here, she's going to come out of this, and then we're going to roll into our 4th exercise of this set. She's going to get over on her hands and knees. Actually, she's going to get on her elbows and her knees. And we're going to do an introductory plank position. Now, a plank is basically what we're going to try to do is make a board out of our body. So, Catherine, start down on the floor for us. So she'll start here in this position, where as you can see, she's got a little bit of curve. And now what she's going to do is she's going to, from her toes, she's going to lift her body up, and she's basically going to try to keep her body as straight as possible. Once again, this is a fundamental yoga pose, but we call it plank because we're trying to make a plank out of our body. So if you notice, her elbows or forearms are coming straight down to the elbow, so she's got a nice perpendicular structure here with her arms, and she's holding the body straight. This is helping us take a lot of the arm out and focus primarily on the scapular stabilizers and the back itself. This is an isometric pose, so she's going to hold for a count of 30 if possible. We're going to try to hold this for at least 30 seconds. And then after that 30 seconds, she can relax and come back down. So if we can do 4 or 5 of these in a set, that would be great. So we've got, once again, 4 exercises to do, and it should take about 10 minutes to get through those 4 exercises. 10 minutes that we can apply at work while we're watching TV. Nice, easy, doesn't take any equipment. So once again, 10 minutes of exercise for 10 minutes to better health.